Hello students, here I am back with your another video of economics. Second chapter we were doing, that is collection of data. In the last video we discussed primary data and secondary data. Now we will discuss what are the different methods of collecting the data, that is primary data. Which different methods we adopt for collecting our primary data. First primary source is your direct personal investigation. First method is your direct personal investigation. The name itself depicts direct personal investigation. That is, the investigator directly approaches the field of investigation personally. जो investigator होता है directly उस field में जाकर investigate करता है, किन से? Informant से. किसी और सेकेंड पर्सन को वो नहीं भेजता है बल्कि डायरेक्टली पर्सनली इन द फील्ड ऑफ इन्वेस्टिगेशन ही अप्रोचेस एंड फ्रॉम द डिफरेंट इन्फॉर्मेंट्स ही कलेक्ट्स द डाटा फॉर हिज इन्वेस्टिगेशन. The investigator establishes direct relation with the informants from whom the information is to be collected. But the basic requirement of this method is the investigator should be efficient, impartial and tolerant, because he has to bear a lot of tolerance while communicating with the informant. I'll give you a simple example of direct person investigation. Suppose any crime has taken, suppose a murder has been there. So what the investigator will do is he will directly go to the field of investigation and investigate with the informant. That is, he can investigate with the neighbor, with the relatives of the concerned person, or with some other person, friends, relatives or neighbor. So this will be your direct personal investigation, in which the investigator personally communicate, personally interact with the informants and itself collects the information without taking the information from other person or without sending some other person. He or she, that is investigator itself, go to the field of investigation for collecting the different information. Now suitability, that means this method is particularly suitable where it is suitable, that is where the field of investigation is limited, that is not very large. In large field, this method will not be appropriate, will be difficult to adopt. So this method is suitable in case of small area. Next is, a greater degree of originality of data is required when we require a very original data. That means if there are chances of some biasness, so we will adopt direct personal investigation if we want original data, original, reliable and accurate data. Then direct personal investigation will be the most suitable method if original data is required. Third point of suitability is where we want the information to be kept secret. That is, we want that the information is not to be leaked. Then direct personal investigation is the best method to be adopted. Again, next point is when we want accurate, reliable and original data, then direct personal investigation is most appropriate method. Last point is when investigator wants a direct contact with the informant, then this method is mostly suitable. Next is, what are the advantages of direct personal investigation? First is, we have discussed in suitability also that the data is original in case of direct person investigation, right? So first point is originality, that is, in case of direct person investigation, the data we collect, the data investigator collect, have a higher degree of originality. We extract original data with the help of this method. Second point is accuracy. The data in this method is most accurate. There are no chances of biasness, no chances of inaccurate data, because the investigator personally communicate, personally contact the informant and itself collect the data. So data is fairly accurate with the help of this method. Next is reliability. The data in this method is most reliable data, because again the investigator himself approaches the field of investigation, himself approaches the informant without sending some other person. So the data in this method is reliable. Next is related information. That means when we are direct contact with the informant, the investigator can obtain some other information also, that is the information related to the investigation. Apart from that, other basic information also he can extract with the help of communicating with the informant. By communicating with the informant, he can extract some extra additional information, or we can say related information he can extract from the informants. Next advantage of direct personal investigation is uniformity. That means a uniform data is obtained with the help of this method. The investigator can obtain a fair degree of uniformity in data, and the data can be easily comparable. The investigator can easily compare the data, and uniform data is obtained with the help of this investigation. Next is last point of advantage is elastic. Elastic means flexible. That means this method is flexible. The investigator can make adjustment, can make changes in his questions while communicating, while extracting information from the informants. That means this method is fairly elastic. The investigator can make changes in his communication or in his medium of extracting the information from the informant. इन्फॉर्मेंट से जो भी इंफॉर्मेशन वो एक्सट्रैक्ट कर रहा है, वो क्वेश्चंस को चेंज कर सकता है इंफॉर्मेशन इन्फॉर्मेंट से निकालने के लिए. नेक्स्ट इज योर demerits. As a coin has two ends, that is head and tail, in the same way everything in this world has disadvantage and disadvantage also. So this method, apart from having advantage, this method is having some disadvantages also. First point is difficult to cover wide areas. As we studied in suitability, that this method is only suitable in case of small area. That is, in large area we cannot apply this method, because it is not possible for the investigator, for the single investigator, to cover the wide area for collecting the information. So this is not suitable for large area or wide area. Only small area we can apply this method. Second is personal biasness. The word biasness means partiality, bhedbhav. So this method have some chances of personal biasness of investigator. That means we say that the whole this method is dependent upon the capability of the investigator. If the investigator is itself biased or partial in collecting the data, then the data will not be much reliable. Next is costly. This method is compared to other methods, this method is very costly. That is expensive in terms of time, money and efforts. A lot of time, money and efforts are involved in collecting the data with the help of this method. So this method is quite expensive method. Next is limited coverage. Limited coverage means that this method can be applied only in small area. Okay, if we are applying in large area, although it is not possible to apply this method in large area, if we are applying, then the conclusions, then the results will not be reliable. That means this method has a very limited coverage, that is, it can be applied only in small area. So this was all about direct personal investigation. This is the first method of collecting our primary data. Second method of collecting the data is your indirect oral investigation. In this method, indirect, that is, investigation is done orally by the, that is, in indirect oral investigation, the information by the investigator is collected. This is the same as it was in direct personal investigation, but the information, the related information is not collected from the informant, but from the person associated with that informant. Just for simple example, if the information is extracted, is taken from the person who has done the crime, then it will be a direct person investigation. But if the information is taken from the person associated, whether he or she is neighbor, relative, or we can say simple terms, we can say witness. If the investigator finds that the informant do not deliver right information, then he will have to adopt indirect oral investigation, in which he will extract the information from the concerned person. that is in law terms we can say it as witness. Next is suitability. A very simple point I will say you that last method we studied is direct personal investigation. This is your indirect oral investigation. The reverse will be the merits and demerits. That is, the merits of direct personal investigation will be the demerit of indirect oral investigation, and the demerit of direct personal investigation will be the merit of your indirect oral investigation. So first topic of this is indirect oral investigation is suitability, that is where this method is suitable. First point is the field of investigation is relatively large, that means this method can be applied in large area also. Second is this method is suitable when it is not possible to communicate, to contact directly with the informant, then we have to adopt this method. We can adopt this method when we cannot contact directly with the informant, then we have to communicate, we have to contact with the concerned or related persons. Third is the concerned informant are not capable of giving information because of their ignorance or literacy. This method is suitable when the informant is not giving the information or he is not having the information which the investigator want. Then last option what the investigator will have will be that he has to contact the person associated with the informants. That is, if the informant is not capable of giving the information or if he is not giving the right information, then we have to adopt indirect oral investigation. That is, we have to contact the person associated with the informant. Next is this method is suitable where the investigation is quite complex and only some specific person or only some experts can give information. Then this method is suitable. This method is mostly adopted by our government and non-government committees. Now comes advantages or merits of indirect oral investigation. First point is your wide coverage. That means first merit is what advantage is that this method can be applied in wide area. Next is less expensive. That means this method is not very much expensive in terms of time, money, cost and efforts. Next is your expert opinion. That is, the investigator can take the opinions of the expert persons and can make the information more reliable and more accurate. Next is your free from biasness. That means there are no chances of any biasness of the investigator in this method. Last point is your simple. This method of data collection is quite simple as compared to other methods. So we can say overall we can say what the demerits of direct person investigation was. This is the merit of our indirect oral investigation. Next is your demerits of indirect oral investigation. First point is less accurate. That means the data collected by this method is not very much accurate. Why it is not accurate? Because the data is collected not from the concerned person, not from the informant, but from the person associated with the informant. It may be possible that they do not possess or deliver right information, right data. So the chances of accuracy of data in this method is very less. Next is your biasness. That means there are more chances of biasness of witness or the person associated with the informant. If they deliver wrong information, then our whole investigation process will be wrong and the data will also be inaccurate. Last is doubtful conclusion. That is, if data is inaccurate or unbiased or unreliable, then the whole conclusion derived from the information, from the inaccurate information will also be wrong. That means the whole process, the whole method will be failed if the information collected is wrong and the information is not much reliable in case of indirect oral investigation. Now comes the next topic, that is we have studied two methods, that is direct personal investigation and indirect personal investigation. Now comes the difference. What is the difference between these two methods? First point is we have discussed in direct personal investigation, that is in direct personal investigation the investigator establishes direct contact with the informant, but as far as indirect oral investigation is concerned, he does not maintain direct contact, but he contact the person associated with the informant. Second difference is direct personal investigation is suitable only in case of small area, whereas indirect oral investigation is suitable in case of large area. This is the second difference. Next is your in case of direct personal investigation, the investigator must possess some basic qualities, that is, he must be diligent, he must be tolerant, he must have communication skill. So the investigator must be well versed in the language and in case of different qualities. But there is no such requirement. There is no such requirement in case of indirect oral investigation. Last point of difference is that is direct personal investigation is more costly as compared to indirect oral investigation. That is, it is much costly method in terms of time, money and efforts as compared to indirect oral investigation. So these were the two methods of collecting our primary data. Thank you.